right, they line up. Traverse City wins the face-off. Let's go, boys. Soper tries to send it up off the high glass. A little bit too high, hit the net. Out of play, we get a whistle. That'll bring the face-off to the right of Schlegel. Carter Schlegel in net tonight. The boys line up. Traverse City wins another face-off. It goes back to Soper. He hands it off to Burkholder. Burkholder goes to Davidson. Davidson's outlet pass, drop down. Second effort by Graham Peters makes it out. Davidson, near side here by me to Soper. Soper chipped it up. Did not get what he wanted on it, but Weaver was there to back him up. Weaver picked off at the line. Shot right into the middle of Schlegel's chest. It goes back to the point. They go to the far side. Shot from the point into Schlegel's glove. He hangs on. 16:25 left first period. Shots on goal. 1-4 Forest Hills. Couple of missteps there early by the Trojans. Hopefully they'll get their feet under them and we'll pick it up. Face off, controlled by Forest Hills, but not kept in, out. Beatty and Fogelman with pressure up front. Forest Hills with a nice pass. Comes in, top of the circle, backhanders. Couple shots on Schlegel, stopped handily. Pass through the legs of Beatty. And Forest Hills has it behind our goal line, but Braden White able to get on that puck. He tried to hit Beatty just out of his reach, but it comes out. Forest Hills checks up at the line. Schlegel plays it. Burley hit Fogelman, who left it. Burley gets it back, goes behind our goal. He reverses it to White. White back to Burley. And Beatty beats the man on the point. Beatty's in with another. He shoots. Oh, blocker saved by the Forest Hills goalie. Great chance by Beatty there. He had Fogelman with him. Oh, Luke Harvey with a pass. Luke Harvey's going to take a penalty, but Luke Harvey tried to hit Klusterman with a pass, and the Forest Hills forward picked that off right in the middle of the ice. Was pretty much in just one step from being alone. Luke Harvey caught up behind him, but it ended up with a tripping call out of that one. And we will go to the first PK of the game. Forest Hills back to the point. They go to the far side of the circle, far point in front of the Traverse City bench, to the middle. Shot into the belly of Schlegel, and he hangs on. 14:53 first period. 1:49 left in the penalty kill for the Trojans. This will be a big test and a momentum shift here if Traverse City can hold this off. Shot from the point, blocked by Graham Peters. Forest Hills gets it back off of the glove of Schlegel. Burkholder plows into the wall. Forest Hills able to dump it back in. Puck takes a weird bounce, but Klusterman able to get to it, shoots it all the way down, the goalie has to play it. Oh, pass intercepted by Davidson, who tried to backhand it toward the net. Just wide of the net. A lot of energy both sides. Shot towards Schlegel, out of his reach. Klusterman pushed off the puck, back to the point. Forest Hills sends it in. Klusterman breaks up the pass, but Forest Hills controls it. They go back to the point. Top of the circle, a move. And Forest Hills still has it. Kept in right at the blue line. Shot towards Schlegel. Oh, kept out. Burkholder saved the goal there. Another shot blocked by Evan Blazak. Rebound to Forest Hills. 47 seconds left in this power play. Tipped right in front of Schlegel, but wide. Davidson able to get his stick on that puck. It goes all the way in the Forest Hill end. Both teams change up. Wholesale changes. Forest Hills with a long dumping pass. Braden White able to knock that down. Checked off the puck, but it goes right to Xander Fogelman. Xander Fogelman's going to come up. He goes hard up. The Forest Hills defenseman misses it. Fogelman's going to chase in. And he forces an errant play, but it bounced over Burley's stick, but Fogelman's got it again, and he just dumps it right back down. That should do it for the PK with 4 seconds left, and a great defensive penalty kill by Central. Shot in from the blue line off of Schlegel's stick up into the netting, and we will get a face-off in the Traverse City end. Holy mackerel. It's going to be like this, isn't it? All right, Graham Peters take this face-off. Conaway and Soper on D. Soper to Conaway. Conaway hit Davidson. Davidson looks. He hit Weaver. Weaver up to Graham Peters. Nice movement of the puck. Peters dumps it in deep. Weaver there. Sends it behind the net. Forest Hills able to send it up, but Davidson able to pick that off. Forest Hills has to try again. Davidson with a lot of pressure. Keeps it in. Weaver able to knock that one down. Soper dumps it right back in, and the goalie's got to play it. Traverse City changes the forwards. Conaway and Soper stay out there. Pass intercepted by Rodenroth. Rodenroth dumps it in deep. The goalie's got to play it. He sends it up the board. Soper should be able to keep this in. He does. He shoots it toward the net off the Forest Hills goalie blocker. Bunch of bodies chase after that puck right in front of the net. Forest Hills comes out with it, but Rodenroth keeps it in. Mishandled by Forest Hills, and now they just ice it all the way down. Oh, they said it was off a stick. I missed that. Wow, that was a gift to Forest Hills. Conaway's got it at the blue line. He sends it up. Traverse City gets it in. Rodenroth tips it all the way behind the net. He fends off his man, gets tied up on the boards. Centering pass by File, knocked down. Forest Hills has got it. Kluserman stepped in, kept it away from the Forest Hills player. Now they come into our end. And we get a whistle at the line for an offsides, and we are going to get a wholesale line change. Harvey out there with, I lied, Kluserman staying out. He had started the change early. Harvey, Kluserman back. Blazak, Beatty, and Fogelman up front. Tipped in by Blazak. Off the stick of the Forest Hill players. Blazak takes a heck of a hit, but that allows Beatty to get the puck and take a quality shot. Beatty behind the net. He's looking. He spins around. Backs it up to Fogelman. Fogelman makes a move. Fogelman looking. He goes around the Forest Hills player. Fogelman turns in a circle. Fogelman! Backhander stopped. Fogelman was trying to get a chance, but he had bodies all over him. 10:51 first period. Shots on goal 5-3 in favor of Forest Hills. I can tell already this is going to be a good game. Puck sent around by Forest Hills. Kept in by Fogelman. Dump behind the net. Burley's got the puck. Behind the goal line. Fogelman keeps it in. Burley goes back to deep. Fogelman goes in deep. They just get it past Beatty. Off the skates of the Forest Hills player. And now Beatty, he tried to go through the legs of the Forest Hills player. The puck went through, but the player stopped Beatty. Sent toward our net. And Burley dropped his man. Forest Hills battles for that puck. And Graham Peters sends it all the way around to Burley. Burley tripped at the goal line, recovers, and now Braden White picks that puck up, goes to the boards, hits Davidson in front of our bench, and Davidson just missed Weaver. Graham Peters missed the dump through the neutral zone. Burkholder, he missed the puck. Shot toward the net. Steiger with a great save. Puck sent back towards Schlegel off the high glass. Now Soper picks it up. He looks. He goes up to Davidson, and the puck comes out all the way into the Forest Hills end through the neutral zone. Forest Hills dumps it in. That should have been an ice. It was this side of the red line. Referees must want to keep this game moving because they are not calling the icings. Puck shot towards Schlegel. Burkholder picks it up, keeps it out of harm's way. He goes to Davidson. Davidson tried to rifle it up the board. The point man for Forest Hills sent it right back in off the blocker, Schlegel. Forest Hills setting it up. Soper pins his man to the boards. Sent toward the middle, back to the point. The point's going to take a shot. Never made it to the net. The rebound goes in towards Schlegel. And the referee signals goal. Nothing Schlegel could do there. He was on his back. He stopped the first two shots. And Forest Hills comes out ahead with 8:42 in the first period. So we'll get a face-off at center ice. Kasu Lehtinen took that face-off. Conaway's got it on D. He goes behind our net, checks up, fends off a player. It ends up on Collier Schultz's stick. And he tries to go off the boards, picks the wrong angle, and we get an icing call. So we've got Treadway, Schultz. We're getting a forward change. We're going to have File, Rodenroth, and Humphreys out there with Conaway and Klusterman on defense. Face-off, 1-8, Traverse City. Klusterman sends it behind the net to Conaway. It bounces over his stick. Shot toward the net. Oh, Schlegel never saw it. Oh, this is not good. So with 8:14 in the first period, Forest Hills goes up by 2. So Soper and Burley back. File left wing, Rodenroth center, and Humphreys right wing. Forest Hills in their own zone, off the boards. Burley gets it. Burley behind his own net, sends it up. File gets it out. Humphreys missed the pass, but Humphreys picks it up off the boards and sends it in. Humphreys in the neutral zone now, checked off the puck. And Forest Hills at the red line dumps it all the way in. Schlegel plays it for Burley. Humphreys off the board. Rodenroth missed that. Shot towards Schlegel. Deflected by Soper. Soper to White. White to Soper. Soper off the glass all the way out. And that was off of the Forest Hills defenseman, and they call ice. So I guess they're calling icings on us. All right, Evan Blazak will take this face off in our end to the left of Schlegel. White sends it to Burkholder behind the net. Kept in right at the line by Forest Hills, backhanded in. And Forest Hills goes back to the point. Shot from the point. Rebound off of Schlegel over the net. Burkholder pins his man on the boards. Ties up the puck. They battle hard. Shot toward the net, steered aside. Back to the point. Forest Hills. Oh, shot blocked by Xander Fogelman. Xander makes the move too. Xander backhand pass to. Oh, that was Beatty with the backhand pass. Beatty took a shot and the goalie knocked it down behind the net. Oh, what a great play by Xander Fogelman. Beatty brings it right back in. He's got Fogelman with him. As Forest Hills was making a line change, but the defenseman played that well and we couldn't do much with it. Kept in at the line by Fogelman. Sent in behind the goal line. Forest Hills will pick it up there. They get it out and Harvey sends it near side here to Klusterman. Klusterman dumps it in. Graham Peters knocks his man off the puck, but nobody there to collect it. Shot through the middle, picked up by Klusterman. He tipped it up to Davidson. Davidson dumps it in. Weaver races in. Harvey's got it now. Harvey looks. He backhands it. Oh, right onto the stick of one of the Forest Hills players who comes in. The centering pass was read by Weaver. He picked it off. He sends it all the way around to Davidson. Davidson settles the puck down. He looks, goes to the middle. Graham Peters just missed that pass. He got it with his stick, but it was behind him and he couldn't take care of it. Puck comes out. Weaver brings it back in, so no offsides. Weaver hits Burley. Burley comes through the neutral zone. Burley makes their zone. He checks up. Evan Blazak pushes his man off the puck. And now Forest Hills sends it all the way around. Klusterman will try to hold the point, but it's going to come to one of the Forest Hills players. Oh! Klusterman had stepped in, kept it in with his foot, but then one of the Forest Hills players picked it up. Now they bring it out. Beatty's got it. One man to beat. It comes off his stick, but Fogelman picks it up. Fogelman looks, and Forest Hills able to bring that puck out. Traverse City brings it right back in. Forest Hills sends it right back out. Braden White on a man. Soper the only one. Now White catches up. White chases a man down. High off the boards. It goes all the way around. Forest Hills will pick it up at their line. Sent across in front of their bench through the middle. Oh, White missed the breaking pass. Shot toward Schlegel. He stops it. Forest Hills goes back to the point. They shoot it in. Wide of Schlegel. Soper's been out there a while. He looks gassed. It comes to Rodenroth. Rodenroth sends it up to Fogelman, who's also has been out there a while. Forest Hills brings it in. Shot off Schlegel. Rodenroth off the boards, but it took a funny bounce and went right to one of the Forest Hills players. Now Rodenroth's got it in the neutral zone. He's got another man, Fogelman, with him. Rodenroth shoots. Goalie was looking behind him, but it went off his glove and up into the netting. We get a whistle. Wow, up and down hockey. Shots on goal are 15-14 in favor of Forest Hills, but after that second goal, we have really picked up the intensity. Conaway and Burkholder back. Conaway, Burkholder. Burkholder shot toward the net, just wide. That was Rodenroth all tied up. He could not get the rebound. Conaway at our line. Not able to get it out. Shot toward the net. Conaway goes into the corner, checks his man off the puck, sends it to Rodenroth, who takes it through the middle, passed it into the shin pads of one of the Forest Hills player. Now File gets it out. File at the red line. File comes in. 3-on-1. File couldn't get through three. Forest Hills just inside the red line, dumps it in. Conaway will chase that puck down. He sends it up to File, who lets it go by, and that brings it out of the zone. Conaway again will go behind the net, pick that puck up. He looks. And Schlegel puts a glove on that in front of the net and holds on. And we will get some line changes here. 2:55 left in the first period. Trojans down by 2. Graham Peters takes that face off. And Weaver ends up with the puck, sends it behind the net, but nobody there. Forest Hill centered, backhand, stop by Schlegel. Burley's got it. Near side by me. He looks, comes around, gets it up to Davidson. Davidson decides to go backward. Davidson looks. He goes to Weaver. Weaver tips it up to Peters. Peters through the neutral zone, sends it into the Forest Hills goalie, who held on to it till the last second. Weaver coming in. Weaver's hit Davidson. Davidson to Weaver. Back to Weaver. Oh, just bounced over Weaver's stick. Weaver pins his man on the board. Allows Klusterman to get a shot. Goalie able to get his pads in the way and stop that one. So with 2:04 left in the first period, your Trojans down by 2. Shots on goal 17-6 in favor of Forest Hills. Still a very competitive, tough hockey game. Out of 17 shots, Schlegel stopped 15 of them, and out of those 17, I would say that 14 of them have been really good scoring chances. All right, Soper's got to chase down a puck in our end. It gets tipped in past Schlegel, sent behind our net. Kloosterman and Soper working on D. Kloosterman's got it now. He's got a little bit of room. He hits Fogelman. Fogelman hit Blazak. Beatty tried to give it back to Blazak. It was knocked down by Forrest Hills. Forrest Hills shoots, blocked by Soper. Soper off the high glass. The left point for Forrest Hills, able to kick that in soccer style. Soper hits Kloosterman. Kloosterman goes far side off the boards. And Forrest Hills right back into our end. Shot towards Schlegel, knocked down. Rebound sent just wide of the net. Forrest Hills back toward Rodenroth, blocked. Kloosterman blocked. And now back to the point. Puck ends up in the middle. Soper hit Rodenroth. Beatty not able to get it out. He fanned on the pass. Now they battle in the corner. Rodenroth gets it out of the zone. He hit Fogelman. Fogelman beat the two defensemen. Fogelman at the circle, shoots. Oh, off the goalie's pad. Puck out. Fogelman still fighting for that. Tipped in, but the Forrest Hills defenseman sends it to his partner, and they bring it out. Braden White to Burley. Burley is going to go through the neutral zone. Oh, he tried to hit Davidson just out of his reach. Weaver with a good defensive play. Sorry, there was so much going on I couldn't keep up with the play. McDonald, thanks for taking care of Trojan hockey. All right, the face-off. Back to Kloosterman. Kloosterman hit Soap. Soap got it up to Davidson. Davidson gets it into the Forest Hills end. Puck slows down on wet ice. Weaver got a foot in there. Soper not able to take care of it. I don't get that either. The goalie's yelling ice. The coaches are yelling ice. That was the far side of the red line sent in. No ice. All right, Forest Hills has it behind their goal line. Traverse City picks it up. Grant Peters drops it back to Soper. Soper shoots it. Goes straight up in the air off Forest Hills player. Soper dumps it in deep. It's going to come around. Kloosterman able to keep it in. Forest Hills holds on to it too long. Davidson gets in there. Behind the goal line, Davidson and Blazak fight for that puck. Davidson goes for a change. Fogelman comes out, picks the puck up right off the bench. He's got it, backhands it toward the net. Blazak gets tied up. He tries to center it off the side of the net. Now at the circle, Kloosterman keeps it in. Forest Hills tried to send it down, but they couldn't. And we are just off sides, doggone it. The goalie sends it all the way down. Play with a high stick. And amazingly enough, the ref picked that up, and we get a whistle. The goalie sent it high in the air, and it was played by one of the Forest Hill players at the red line, but he was about the top of the glass high with his stick when he whacked that. And Forest Hills was the next to touch it, so we get a high stick call. Face off to the right of the Forest Hills goalie. Blazak sends it sideways. Conaway keeps it in with a foot. He drops back on D. Beatty pounds his man. Beatty keeps it in. Beatty's got it. He shoots just over the head of the goalie. It comes all the way back to Burley. Burley sends it toward the net. Off of the feet of one of the Forest Hills players. Fogelman tried to center it just out of his reach, and now Rodenroth got it. Rodenroth sent it right to the Forest Hills player racing in. Holy mackerel. Oh, I just saw both Rodenroth parents put their head down and pray that didn't go in. All right, Burley's got it behind our net. It gets caught up on the wet ice. Conaway can't get to it fast enough. Burley checks his man. Rodenroth races. Conaway helps him out. Forest Hills comes out with that puck. The ice is very wet behind the net, and it's stopping the puck in its tracks. Conaway pins his man on the boards. Forest Hills keeps it in. They race in. They shoot right into Schlegel's glove, and we get a whistle. So 4 out of the 5 Traverse City players have had enough of that, and they'll go back to the bench. Rodenroth takes face off. It goes back to the Forest Hills point. They keep it in. Braden White races for that behind our goal line. He sends it up the boards, but nobody there. Forest Hills keeps it in. Forest Hills with a shot that goes across the blue, but stays out of the net. Forest Hills through the middle, off a stick and out. Tipped by Carter Humphreys. He gets it all the way behind the goal line, just out of Blazak's reach, and Forest Hills tries to send it up and out. Now they control it behind their goal line. Look, Humphreys races in, good pressure. Off the point, past White, Burkholder there to back him up. Humphreys tips it in, he gets around one man, he gets pinned by the second man, but picked up by the younger Davidson. Forest Hills sends it all the way out, but it's right on net. What do we got a whistle for? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. What's Humphreys going to the box for?
Did he call for holding or something? Interference?
No, he didn't call interference. Maybe a rough? Rob, what was the call? Even the scorekeeper just buzzed the horn. He has no idea what that call was. So Traverse City will go back to the PK. Penalty on Humphreys, but nobody knows what it is. We'll have to wait for the call. Forest Hills wins the face-off. They work it around the outside. Forest Hills sends it to the far side in front of their bench. Shot all the way from the blue line, steered aside. Forest Hills picks it up. They go back to the point. Kept in at the blue line. Shot off Schlegel's glove. Burkholder rebound all the way down to the Forest Hills end. Their goalie settles it down in the trapezoid. They pick it up, and as we change and get in the... Oh, Graham Peters almost picked off the pass. Holy cannoli. He'd have been alone in the end by himself if he'd have picked that up. Klusterman with a nice stick there, able to steer it back out in the neutral zone. Peters not letting up, forcing the play. We get in the diamond formation. Forest Hills brings it in. They go back to the point. Peters forces it again. Klusterman's going to get it. He looks. No chance. Finds a seam. Sends it all the way down. Graham Peters, as hard as he was racing, runs down. This should be a... The goalie tried to play it deep, and Conaway picked it up just inside the blue line and sent it all. Xander Fogelman's got it. Behind their goal line, he sent it up to Evan Blazak, who's tied up, but he's fighting for that puck. 25 seconds left in the penalty kill, and Blazak just wrapped about 8 seconds off of that. Forest Hills now has it in their end. They go long, tipped in between the red line and the blue line. Burley behind our goal line and off the side of the net. Comes away with it, sends it all the way down with 3 seconds left, and that should kill this penalty. It does. Goalie tries to play it long again. They catch us. Conaway backing up. Conaway turns the wrong way, shot at Schlegel. Schlegel saves Conaway just wide. Second rebound, and Schlegel puts it in. Schlegel can't get over, and Forest Hills puts it in. Oh. So we made it through the penalty kill, and I'm guessing 10 or 15 seconds following, the puck ends up in our net after multiple saves by Schlegel. All right, Traverse City sends out Lehtinen, Collier, and Treadway. Face-off, won by Forest Hills. Kloosterman crushes the Forest Hill player, and he goes right off. We get out of our end. Soap gets it behind our net. He leaves it for Kloosterman. He settles it down, goes back to Soap. Soap up to Treadway. Treadway beats Forest Hills player in. Collier there to back him up. Lehtinen centers it. It goes to the point. Shot off the goalie. Back to Soper. Soper fans on the shot. But Kloosterman able to pick it up into the neutral zone. He dumps it back in. We check up. We're good. Goalie plays it behind his net. He backhands it around. We were changing. Kloosterman's not on his point. Now Soap's all alone. Centering pass. Misses. Burley plays defensively. Keeps his man tied up. And that was Lehtinen able to get it out of our zone. And Forest Hills brings it right back in. Shot towards Schlegel. Hits him right in the Trojan emblem. Falls into his glove. And he hangs on. 9:59. Second period. Score the game 3-0 in favor of Forest Hills. Shots on goal 26-8. Not our favor. Face-off goes back to the Forest Hills point. Shot deep into the corner around. Forest Hills works it around. Shot toward the net. Blocked by Graham Peters. Graham Peters tips it out. Graham Peters races in. The goalie's going to play it. He fires it up high off the glass over Luke Harvey's stick. It went on to Schlegel. The ref had called off icing. I have no idea why. It bounced past Harvey. Again. All right, we get it out. Weaver races for that puck. Ties his man up. Davidson gets it in. Davidson controls it. Off his stick, he passes up to Graham Peters, who just out of his reach. Goes back to Beatty. Beatty gets it poked off his stick. Davidson fights to keep it in. They go to the middle, into the corner. They look. They send it long. How do you like that? We got an icing call. And with that, the face-off. Thanks again to our premier sponsor, NMHM Hotels. The face-off will be to the right of the Forest Hills goalie. It looks like Evan Blazak will take this face-off. Forest Hills comes out with it through the neutral zone. 3-on-2. And Soper with a great defensive play keeps it off their stick. They get one shot that Schlegel knocked down. They run it behind our net. Blazak drops his man. Kloosterman should get to this puck. He does. Oh, it comes off his stick. Centering pass. Thank goodness. Missed by Forest Hills. Now it's out. Kloosterman will have some time to pick this up. It's still offsides as Forest Hills came off the bench. While they were still offside, and as the puck hit the back of a Forest Hills player, that'll force face-off outside in the neutral zone in front of the Forest Hills bench. 8:18 left in the second period. Face-off, won by Traverse City. Braden White picks it up. He makes it across the red line, dumps it in deep, falls back on his point. Rodenroth forced the play. Forest Hills able to get it out, but File, with his quick speed, got to that puck and dumped it back in. Forest Hills knocks it down. Burkholder gets it out. They dump it right back in. Berkey's got it. Berkey hits Rodenroth. Rodenroth tried to go up the boards. Forest Hills knocked it down. Braden White back up the boards. He hit Rodenroth. Rodenroth hit Humphreys. Humphreys makes his own shot on net. Big rebound. File was well covered. He was sniffing at that puck. He just couldn't get untied. Forest Hills has it behind the goal line. They come across. Nobody touched this. Ref's got his arm up. Didn't make it to the line. And Braden White pounded. It goes back to the point. Shot towards Schlegel. Again, hits him right in the emblem. Into his glove. He hangs on tight. 7-17 will get a face-off in the Forest Hills end. Graham Peters will take this face-off to the left of Schlegel. Davidson just not able to get it out. Peters pounds his man. Burley comes up with the puck. He gets it out. He comes through the neutral zone. He's got Davidson with him. He dumps it in. Burley pounds a man into the corners. And he's still going to chase down that puck. Makes another big hit. Forest Hills goes up the board. Kicked in by Graham Peters. Off the boards. Forest Hill now clears. Peters gets it. He hits Burley. Burley goes up to Weaver. Weaver gets it in. Graham Peters checks his man. Weaver fights off. Peters forced to play. He hits Graham Peters. Graham Peters in. Oh, he fanned on the shot. He had a guy on him that must have got a hold of his stick. Otherwise, he's got it. Forest Hills sends it down and gets an icing call. And we will get a line change. Kloosterman and Soper back. Fogelman, Blazak, and Beatty. Behind the Forest Hills net. Takes a funny bounce, which allows Beatty to pick it up. Beatty curls. Beatty looks. He hits Blazak. Blazak hit Soap. Soap's shot went off of the Forest Hills forward, but Soap able to bring it back in, but that puck off a stick out of play. So Evan Blazak will take this face off. Won by the Trojans toward the net. Out of the zone. Now Forest Hills comes in. Shot towards Schlegel. Knocked down. Rebound. Missed. Soper hit Beatty. Beatty sent it across the middle right to one of the Forest Hills players. Shot went wide. Second effort. Oh, I can't even watch. I think that was 3 shots in front of Schlegel. Body, Schlegel, whiffs, too much. We are being outshot 3-1 with 5:34 left in the second, down by 3. We really, really need to get a goal before the end of this period to give the boys something to look forward to coming into the third. Burkholder picks up that face-off puck. He goes high off the glass. Not out. Forest Hills able to keep it in. Collier tried to backhand it out. Kept in by the Forest point. They pick it up. Shot toward the net. Schlegel sees it on the side. Oh! He got it knocked out from under his glove. We pick it up. Treadway races. He gets it out. Speed of Treadway worked out there. He was able to chip it out. Off the boards and up. Burkholder gets it. He rifles it back in, but we got to check up. We do. And we come in on side. Lecton forces a play. Forest Hill sends it around this way. They go for the long pass. Picked off by Weaver. Weaver did not see Lecton deep in the zone. He comes across the line. We get a whistle for offsides. Lecton got tied up with one of the Forest Hills players and was deep in the zone. So Graham Peters out there with Davidson and Weaver. Graham Peters will take this face off with Harvey and Burley back. Tip to Harv. Harv gets it in deep. Forest Hills picks it up behind their net. Davidson forces the play. It goes back to the point. Forest Hills gets it out, but the pass across was blocked by Weaver. Harv sends it around to Burley. Off Burley's stick. He picks it up on the second effort, but the Forest Hill player comes out with it. And we chip it down. This will be an icing. Forest Hills players don't even skate at it and just take the whistle. We're just not winning the battles tonight. 4:10 left in the second, down by 3. Trojans really need a shot in the rear end here. Face off, controlled by Forest Hills, splits the defenseman and comes out of the zone. Humphreys races in. Forest Hills dumps it right on Schlegel. He steers it aside. Kloosterman into the corner. Rodenroth comes out with it. He hits Humphreys. Humphreys gets it taken off his stick, but Rodenroth there to back him up. Rodenroth took a shot to the arm, and he's wincing and grabbing that arm. Makes it all the way around to Humphreys. Humphreys gives it up again, but Soper picks it up. Soper goes around the board to Kloosterman. Kloosterman lets it go by to File. Kloosterman gets it out. Kloosterman fell and took out the linesman, who's grabbing his side now. Rodenroth tried to hit Humphreys, but Forest Hills able to intercept that pass, dump it in. It goes right to Schlegel, and he holds on. And they count that as a shot on goal, even though that went off our stick. Ay, ay, ay. So with 3:16, second period, down by 3, shots on goal, 32-10. Face off. Controlled by Forest Hills. They go deep behind our goal line. Blazak sent it to White. White not able to get it out, but Fogelman does. Fogelman's got 3 with him. He passes it to, who is that? Beatty. Beatty had a good shot. Beatty knocks it down, picks up the rebound. Forest Hills able to split White and Burkholder and send it all the way down into one of our circles. Long pass by Burkholder. Aaron, and I'll be doggone, they waved off an icing. Kept in the Forest Hills end. They battle on the boards right in front of the bench. Trainer Amy backs up so she doesn't catch an errant stick. It comes out to the neutral zone. Burkholder pounds it back in, and Graham Peters forces the play, which allows Weaver to get it on the boards. Out of Peters' reach, they send it up the boards. Weaver with a hit. He's all over the ice. I love it. Peters keeps it in with a foot. Second effort out to Burley. Burley looks. He hits Peters. Peters gets it all the way in behind the line. The goalie backhands it around, and the Forest Hills player on the boards pays the price trying to play that. Oh, Conaway hit Burley, off Burley's stick, onto the Forest Hills player. Conaway goes into the corner, forces the play, allows it to come out. Burley off the boards onto the Forest Hills player's stick again. We just cannot catch a break. Weaver knocks his man down, but oh, good gravy. Schlegel plays that puck, settles it down, puts a glove on it. With 1:11 left in the second period, we'll get a whistle. Down by 3 late in the second. I would trade my wife's wedding present Mazda Miata for a goal right now. All right, Forest Hills battles for that puck. We get a stick on it, get it all the way into the neutral zone. They back up. East-west pass, just missed by Rodenroth. Schlegel! The puck came off the backboards funny. Schlegel tried to play it. It bounced over his stick right onto one of the Forest Hills players. The Forest Hills player had a quality, high statistical opportunity of scoring, and Schlegel stopped him. There were several of the Forest Hills players' parents with their arms up in the air, and Schlegel was able to bounce off that rebound and stop it. All right, we're not able to get it out. Soper's got to race back behind our goal line. He backhands it, but does not get what he wanted on it. And Klusterman couldn't get to it from the point. Shot wide of Schlegel. Forest Hills tips it. They go back to the point. Shot toward the net. Off of Schlegel. Rebound. Soper sends it into the corner. Actually, that's Rodenroth. Rodenroth has it now. He makes the red line, makes a move. Gets past one. Gets tied up. Pays the price on the boards. And with 8 seconds left, Forest Hills ties it up on the boards. And that should bring an end to this period. It does. Peters and Burley up front. Klusterman and back. Puck dumped in deep at our end. Soper picks it up. Oh, the ice is wet. It just stopped, but it also happened to the Forest Hills player. I do not understand why they start play on wet ice. Puck dumped into the corner. Soper chases it down. Peters comes up with it. Again, off his stick on the wet ice. Klusterman played it high off the boards, but it was knocked down and kept in right at the line. Soper's got it behind our net. Peters off the boards to Burley. Burley in deep. Off the side of the net, behind the goal line. Fogelman. Fogelman with a shot just inside of that post. Missed the net. Here comes Blazak. Blazak gets a stick lifted. Davidson backs him up. Blazak saw the hit coming and had to stop. Off Davidson's stick. Burkholder pins his man on the boards. White pokes at the puck. It went off Burkholder's feet. He didn't see it. Burkholder hits Davidson. Davidson far side to Fogelman. Fogelman makes the zone. Fogelman gonna get a shot off. He fired that so hard I didn't even see where it went, but the goalie looked to the far side. It missed the net. White off Blazak's stick. Blazak races for it. Blazak gets tied up. How is that not a penalty? It comes back. Conaway steps in. He missed the puck. White backs up Conaway. White with a great play. It goes to the middle. Shot toward the net. Behind the net, Conaway knocks one guy off it, but there's two Forest Hills player there. Shot from the line, misses. Backhander, misses the net. Forest Hills back to the point. They miss. Kasu Lechtinen's going to chase that puck down. The goalie plays it at the goal line, sends it to the side by me. They go off the boards. Conaway keeps it in. Conaway shoots. Oh, right into the middle of the goalie. And I missed what happened, but the Forest Hills players chirping at Conaway. The ref's laughing. Forest Hills players still chasing Conaway down. Good keeping that time by Conaway after he made he didn't make a bad play. The puck jumped over his stick. He had jumped in to try to keep it in our end. And that forced White to make good defensive plays. So Forest Hills brings it in. Shot into the glove of Schlegel. He hangs on. We get a whistle. Face-off looks like it'll be on the right side of Schlegel, my left. 14:26. Third period. Rodenroth takes the face off. It goes back to the Forest Hills point. They dump it into the corner. It makes it all the way around to Klusterman behind the net. Harvey knocked down. Harvey got tripped in the corner. Puck comes off his stick onto one of the Forest Hills players. They take a shot and it goes in. I'm not understanding some of what I'm seeing. So we're going to get File in the middle, Humphreys right, Treadway left, Conaway and Harv back. Face off, one to Harv. Harv hits Conaway, longtime teammates and players. Referee says it went off one of our sticks, which nobody else saw, but we'll take the no icing. Conaway keeps it in line, shoots it toward the net, blocked by one of the Forest Hills players. It comes up again. Conaway keeps it in again. He dumps it all the way behind the goal line. Treadway races in there. Harv was in the middle. They get it out on the far side. We dump it back in. We check up. Forest Hills sends it behind their net. They come up with a puck. Harv and Conaway back up. Harv able to swipe that one back in. Tipped up by Treadway with his speed, but two Forest Hills players forced the puck off his stick. Humphreys, patient, waited for that one to settle. He got the better part of it and knocked it back. Humphreys from the point. Oh! It went between the legs of the goalie. He had no idea where it was, but it bounced out, not in. Doggone it, we can't catch a break. Burkholder puts a stick on that. Shot towards Schlegel off his emblem and into his glove. 12:56, third period. Trojans down by 4. Kaka. Face off. Won by Forest Hills. Back to the point. White comes up with it. Up the boards. Second effort out. Forest Hills dumps it right back in. Offsides. They check up. Burkholder's got it. He looks. He goes behind the net. Doggone it. Burkholder did not get what he wanted on that pass. White couldn't get to it. Forest Hills with a shot from the point. Burkholder backhand up to Weaver. Point drives it back in. They go back to the point. Shot all the way to Schlegel. He had good sight on that one. In his glove, he hangs on. We'll get a face-off. 12:22, third period. Down by more than I want to say. Face-off, controlled by Travers. Soper spins around. Burley off the boards, took a crazy hopping bounce. Forest Hills dumps it right back in. Kloosterman reverses it to Soper. Soper hits Weaver. Weaver goes up the boards. Burley's got it. He makes a move at the line, but it comes off his stick. Forest Hills brings it in deep. Forest Hills brings it out now. They come across the line. Soper lost his stick. That not good. Forest Hills off of Blazak's stick as he forced the play. Nice tip by Fogelman. Fogelman beats one man. He's got one to beat. Fogelman beats another. Shot, he scores! Fogelman with a tip out of the goal. Breaks the seal. And with 11:29, third period, we get on the board. Ugh, it's about time. All right, that got the crowd cheering a little bit here. Don't get me wrong, we got some works to do. Fogelman stays out with Blazak and Davidson. Harvey and Conaway on the rear end. It goes to Harv, he chips it out. Fogelman sends it down. Harv got to chase it down after Forest Hills brings it right back in. Oh, Davidson with some speed almost stole one in the neutral zone. He'd have been away. Blazak puts a hit on. Shot toward the net off of Schlegel. He ties it up. Conaway behind him looked like he was putting it in Schlegel's pads. Referee blows the whistle. Schlegel slow to get up. He He had to stretch there. Please don't let him be injured. So Rodenroth will take this face off with Beatty and White back. Kasu Lehtinen up front. Lehtinen backhands one right to the Forest Hills player. Burkholder picks it up. White's got it. He goes off the boards. Beatty got pounded. Couldn't get it out. Forest Hills settles it down. They go toward the net. Shot toward Schlegel off his pad. Steered away. Burkholder goes up to Beatty. Beatty gets there but loses his stick. And Forest Hills dumps it back in. White now high off the glass. Knocked down by Lehtinen. Beatty with a move. He beats one. Beatty's going to get it in. He goes behind the goal line. How is that? Rodenroth got just totally tripped up in the middle of the ice. No call. There's a knee on Davidson. Puck goes back to our goalie. He puts a glove on it and hangs on. 9:57, third period. 4-1 in favor of Forest Hills. We're going to get Soper, Klusterman, Collier, Davidson, and come on, turn so I. Looks like Forest Hills calling the timeout. Why would they call timeout up by 3? They just want to pound it in.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors for the North-South Showcase. Thank you to our booster and assist sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings.
So as they yell out some of the sponsors for the showcase, let me see if I can yap a little about our sponsors. True by Hilton. Thank you for taking care of our Trojans. United Federal Credit Union, if I'm not mistaken, that's Mr. Matt, ex-coach of the Trojans. Thank you so much. Williams Traverse City, thanks for taking care of Trojan hockey. Windborne Photography supports Trojan hockey. Windborne, one of my favorite photographers. I've had him up in my plane. It's hard to find somebody better. There's a few, but not many. Trojan Allie Mae Photography not only shoots our pictures, she supports Trojan hockey. Thank you so much. All right, face off. Won by the Trojans. Soap picks it up. He sends it long. Forest Hills gets it in the neutral zone. File tried to chip it past the defenseman. Now, Klusterman's got it. He tried a pass to Schultz, and it was dumped right back in by Forest Hills. Soper not able to get it out. Glove down by the Forest Hills defenseman. One of the forwards touched it after that. That draws a hand pass call. And we will get a face-off deep in the Forest Hills end to the left of their goalie, my side of the ice. Graham Peters with Weaver and Burley. Soper and Klusterman out there right now. Graham Peters wins that face-off. Clean Burley with a shot. The goalie didn't see it till the last second. Right in his pads. He just got the 5-hole closed at the very last second. Burley with a great move to the middle. Again, Peters wins a face-off. Burley goes back to Soap. Soap shoots. Goalie saw that one coming. Got a stick on it. Into his glove. He hangs on. We're going to get a third face-off. Come on, Peters. Let's go for a 3-fer here. Klusterman talking to Burley. And Graham Peters won 2 out of 3 there. But he goes and chases down the Forest Hills player. Klusterman. What now? Please tell me we're not going to the box. Burley going to the box. The penalty must have been behind the play because I was watching the puck as Kloosterman made a heck of a move to hold that in at the line. And as he was getting ready to shoot it, we get a whistle. So with 9:07, third period, down by 3, Trojans will go on the PK. They've fought off 2 penalties. Forest Hills drives it by our net. Graham Peters fights and allows White to get to that puck and get it out. Forest Hills just past the line, drives it all the way in, over Schlegel's stick behind the net. It's going to make it to Xander Fogelman, who tips it up, and he's able to get it out, shoots it just wide of the goalie, who loves to play this puck. He goes, oh! Fogelman just missed it at the line. The boys are starting to realize the goalie likes to play the puck long, and Fogelman read that one, but there was enough mustard on it. It just went over his stick at the line. Forest Hills brings it through the neutral zone. Burkholder and White on D right now. Burkholder chases his man down, forces it back to the point. No shot as Blazak rushed in. Now it'll go to Fogelman, and he rifles it out of the zone. Blazak able to tip it all the way back to the Forest Hills blue line. And now, Fogelman's got it, he shoots! Oh, the goalie off his glove and hit the thing. Conaway keeps it at the line. It comes back to Conaway. Conaway's going to play that over to Fogelman. Fogelman dumps it in. Linesman gets in the way, keeps it from going deep. Conaway and Harvey on D right now. Tipped in, Conaway gets it. Oh, he hit the Forest Hills player in the chest, but it bounced right back to him. Second effort out of the zone. They get in the diamond. We send it around. Conaway's going to chase that one down. He reverses it. Forest Hills double teams him. Conaway pushes a man off the puck, allows Burley, who's out of the box, to get it. Now Harv has it. He sends it to Conaway. Conaway tips it up to Davidson. Davidson with a nice pass to Peters. Peters makes the zone, and the Forest Hills goalie gets it to our point. Burley able to keep it alive, but then Forest Hills with a second effort breakaway shot. They score. So I think that's happened 3 times. We fought off the power play, did not allow them to score, and within a minute after the power plays, that one might have been a little bit longer, Forest Hills comes back and makes us pay. So with 6:34, third period, shots on goal 40-16 in favor of Forest Hills. We are down by 4 again. Rodenroth takes that face-off. Forest Hills doing a great job of tying us up on the face-off. Soper to Kloosterman. Kloosterman up and out. Shot on goal. Off the side of the net. Kloosterman steps in. He stops it from going long. Beatty gets a shot blocked. Knocked down by Beatty. Beatty taking off the puck. Rodenroth fights forward. He comes up with it. He backhands it deep into the corner. Forest Hills tries to run it out. It goes past Kloosterman. Soper backs him up in the neutral zone. Soper to Kloosterman. Kloosterman looks. He makes the red line. He's going to rush in. And knocked off his stick. Soap back. Golly. It's going to be hard to call the rest of the game. They score again. Down by 5, 6-1 in favor of Forest Hills. I knew they were going to be a tough opponent. They're ranked. I really, really was hoping this would not be the outcome, but File takes the face off. He ties his man up, allows Humphreys to poke it through. Humphreys comes in. File races into the corner, takes a hit, stays with the puck. And somehow Forest Hills wins that battle. Burkholder gloves it down at the line, shoots it at the goalie. File races in there with Treadway. And Burkholder's got it now. We check up. Burkholder gets pounded at the line. We dump it in. Humphreys jumped as his players were racing. And File offsides. I don't think he knew it. He tried to hit the guy in front of the net, and we get a whistle offsides. Ugh. So Humphreys, File, and Treadway will go to the bench. Davidson, Fogelman, and Blazak. Dump it in. Forest Hills controls. Fogelman hit Blazak back to the line and out. Fogelman brings it back in. Fogelman makes a move. Fogelman hits a point. White just able to keep it in. Now it comes back. Forest Hills 2-on-2. They go back to the point. Point keeps it in. Shot toward the net. Off of somebody. Schlegel didn't see it. Burkholder sent it out and just pounds his man on the ice. We're going to get a roughing call here, but I think Berkey just frustrated and upset. Is Forest Hills going to the box? Oh, my mistake. I'm not sure. So after Burkholder pounded him down to the ice, the Forest Hills player gets a retaliation call. I've said it before, a lot of times you get away with the first one and the retaliation is what gets called. We'll take it late in the third here. It comes back to Fogelman. Fogelman hits Peters. Peters sends it deep into the corner. Davidson goes back to the point. Soper tries to shoot it in, sticking away. Fogelman comes up with it, tips it to, oh! He tried to hit Weaver, and one of the defensemen for Forest Hills just read it. Off the boards and out. Davidson's got it. He hits Weaver. Weaver and Fogelman bring it in. Fogelman gets tripped up. Gives it to Davidson. Davidson shot blocked. Davidson has it back. He dumps it into the corner. Hits Weaver. Weaver comes to the middle. Oh, Weaver was trying to make a move. It came off his stick funny and out. Forest Hills not able to get it down. Fogelman picks it up. Red line. Blue line. Fogelman in. Fogelman around one. Fogelman centering pass. Weaver well covered. Forest Hills sends it all the way down with a minute left in the power play. 3:24 left in the game. Soper sets it up behind our net. Rodenroth comes out with it. He loses an edge and drops, but as he steps up, he pops it in, but Forest Hills able to control that, and they send it all the way down. Schlegel settles it down for Kloosterman. Kloosterman, full speed, blue line, red line. He makes the blue line, and Forest Hills just knocks it out. They come up with a puck. Burley defends. Kloosterman comes back to help him out. Oh, Forest Hills just tying it up on our line. Kloosterman has it now. He's going to go behind the net, allow us to settle down and set up. He hit Burley. Beatty's got it now. Beatty goes to Blazak. Blazak back to Beatty. Read by Forest Hills forward. Kloosterman. High off the glass into the net. That does it for our power play. And with 2:17 left in the third, Conaway and Harvey on D. Humphreys, File, and Treadway up front. File. Not able to win that face-off, goes back to the point. They dump it into the corner. Conaway pins a man on the board. Centering pass. Humphreys got in there to break that up. They send it all the way around. Harv chased it down. They go back to the point, kept in. Forrest Hills with a shot. Schlegel saw it coming, and it's Conaway knocks the stick out of the Forest Hills player in front of the net. Schlegel holds on and gets a whistle. Quick changes here by the Trojans late in third down, 6-1. Shots on goal, 42-18. Kasu Lehtinen wins that face-off. White sends it around to Berkey. Berkey up to Davidson. Davidson tried to hit Lehtinen, not able. We send it up. Now Lechtinen's got it. He gets it up to Davidson. Davidson comes in one-on-one, makes a move, gets a shot! Big rebound, nobody there. White chases that puck down, leaves it for Collier. Collier hits Lehtinen. Lehtinen looks, he hits Davidson. Davidson brings it in, gets it deep, chases it down. Collier's feet taken out from under him. Holy mackerel. Lehtinen gonna get a roughing call here after Forest Hills slapped us a couple times. And now we touch the puck. 58.2 left in the period. Lehtinen will go to the box, and hopefully we'll finish this out on the penalty kill. So for this penalty kill, we'll get Conaway and Harvey, Peters and Davidson. A little bit different penalty kill here. Conaway and Harv not out there a lot on the PK. Face off. Controlled by Traverse City. It comes back to Conaway. He looks, sends it up. Not out, but Forest Hills had no time, and now Harv sends it all the way down. It'll go behind our net. Schlegel settles it down for Conaway. Conaway looks. He goes up the boards. Conaway's got to get rid of that puck quicker. He's holding on to it a little too long. Forest Hills with a shot off the pad of Schlegel. Now Davidson comes down 2-on-1. He gets a shot into the glove of the Forest Hills goalie. We get a whistle. We're going to get 4 new players on the PK here. Nope, coach tells Davidson and Peters to stay out. Kloosterman and Soper. Peters calls a timeout with 19.1 left. I know we got to be winded, but I don't want to say it could never happen, but I'm thinking 5 goals in 19 seconds, kind of a long shot. Not sure I'd call the timeout there. I'm thinking the boys probably want to get in that locker room, shower up, go home, get a good night's sleep, and try to bring it back tomorrow. I have some of my fans laughing at me. One of them, my daughter. We've got one of our biggest sports fans, Misty Aylesworth, great dentist on Old Mission Peninsula, watching the Trojans play hockey. So we'll come out with Kloosterman, Soper, Davidson, and Peters. Davidson's going to take this face off. He wins it. Forest Hills able to pick up the centering pass. Soper just ties the man up, lets him go when the ref gets near. Kloosterman drives it out, and Forest Hills will eat the puck here, go away with a win 6-1.